where the shovel is would be the farthest part of the circle on that side.
Okay,
Yeah.
so about there.
Yeah. You have shoes?
Start. I have shoes. Just not.
I'm not accusing you, I'm just asking you. Hillbilly?
Well, I guess we could take out of the fire pit.
Seems to me, I'm sure, Can I give you a tip?
Yeah.
Would you rather I not?
Go ahead.
I have in the past, I go around, dig the
shape.
Yeah, and then I'm cutting through the sod. So then when I begin going in, it pops out
Okay.
a whole lot easier. And then you can see where the sod is, and it usually has to be much bigger than we think. I've got a feeling every time. You haven't seen a snake yet, have you? No.
A lot of rocks right here.
It's all one big,
You want me to bury that ball? None of them are going to be big enough.
Year-old archaeological site.
Yep. More, I guess, huh?
55. Not quite there. No, let's keep your action by it. Go back.
Yep, right here.
Oh.
Yep, he's here. There he is. Little guy.
Well, should we empty some of these ashes out of here?
Yeah, we should.
So then we should wet it down.
Oh, they don't go.
Well, no, it's because it's very hot. There's a lot of fire in there. The only way to take them and put them somewhere is to get them totally out. I don't think they'll go out by themselves from now until when we build it up.
Yeah. What are you worried about? Transporting them or dumping them?
Dumping them.
Being hot.
Where would we dump them?
Well, full moment where I felt like spring was coming. And I found this rock. I'll show it to you. It's inside. It's a really cool rock. It almost looks like it has like fossilized pieces, and it's like green and pink, and it's really cool. And I think it's a kind of a some more special type of rock. I don't know what. But. Well, gotta throw my rocks in a different place. And rock. Worst combo. This will work.
A rock here that needs some personal attention.
Encouragement.
I got it. Good. Go on. Jesus. There you go.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good size, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
Nice and big. Oh! Let's decide where we want the fire drain and how we want to do that. maybe we could use, there's 12 fire bricks there. Maybe we steal a couple, 4 of them for back here or something, and just set it up, just dig out a spot and build it just like that, basically.
So you duplicate
Yeah.
the fire grate here like we have out there. You said there's another grate too?
Yeah, they're not exactly the same, but I think one of the two will work just fine. Or if we use it more back here, we'll just use that grate here and put one of the other grates in the front. But it's nice to have it low enough so that when you are ready, you can just scrape the coals over right in, which means it needs to be at the same level down. And if it's the same level down, then it's going to be pretty far up. If it's, you know what I mean? Like the grate might have to be down like this height, so we might, whatever spot we decide, we might need to dig that back a little square back further.
Well, let's put it right there because that's the low spot. I don't want to do it on a hill.
Okay.
Either here or there.
Well, where do you imagine us sitting?
Well, it depends on the wind.
That's true. I mean, I guess compared to that fire pit, it'd be like here.
Yeah.
We did it in the same spot. Yeah, let's just do it in the same spot. Tom. Think I'm gonna help you? You think I'm gonna give you permission? Looks pretty damn level in my mind.
I really should keep, I got extras at home. Keep some in the truck. I
Yeah.
have one in the truck. And then yours is doing what mine does.
It's got lint in it.
Jesus Christ. Got a lint factory in there? Jeez. It's like it's packed full.
Blow through the front slots. Whoa!
That's not all of it either. Isn't that an electric cart? No.
Is gas. The golf cart? Gas.
All
Okay.
right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And that's all we get?
Well,
That's perfect. Is that all? No, it's all 10.
10 out of 12, yeah.
That really is perfect.
And then, yeah, that's why I thought here maybe we could put some rocks so that there's not dirt on the grate.
Oh, put rocks at the very bottom up?
Just dig it down as far as the bottom of the grate or something, and just put a line of really short rocks. Right now.
Probably up to 75 grand.
What did Chuck and Mary buy it from Dad for? Do you know?
I don't know. I have the number 10,000 in my head, but I don't know if that's
God.
right or not. I think back at the time, they bought it for the going rate. That flat bottom just begs to be used on the bottom.
Yeah, the problem is this trench that it's on is not flat, so maybe that. I love these kind of projects. They're just fun.
Yeah, and I'll lay that one in there. Yep. Turn it. Oh, that's okay. That works.
Fuck you.
What?
Just poop in your underwear?
No, I didn't do anything. She has been,
It smells bad.
well, she has had that in the last 2 days. Yesterday I was... You're right about the traffic. Yeah.
This is more than normal.
I hear him coming now.
Yeah. Well, Marine's gone, you know, she goes down to Minneapolis for work Tuesday through Thursday.
Oh.
Every week. So it's quieter then. Today it's her weekend. I think they're living it up. Oh, you don't smell that, huh?
No, I don't.
Keep getting whiffs. Ooh, that one was nice. I like this big flat rock across from the grill. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? I went to Mesa Verde, which is the cliff dwellers, the Pueblo Indians down in southwest Colorado. And they had these things called kivas, which was they originally thought it was their religious space, but then they realized that they think that they lived in them, their homes. But what they do is they dig down, so from ground level, they would dig down like 10 feet, a perfect circle, about from me to you across, and then around the outside of that, down in there, about 3 feet up, they had a bench for or a shelf, they think, for putting objects. And in the very center, there was a fire ring that was down another depression a little bit lower, and then they would cover the top of that with logs, and then maybe even soil, and so then you'd play around on top, kids would run around, everyone would walk around it, and then there was a hole in the center of that went down with a ladder down in, and that was also the smoke hole. And the fire pit in the center had the way that they get air, because you wonder, well, how do they get any air in there? Outside the circle, let's say this is the side, there's a shaft that they dig down a couple feet away, goes straight down, and it's got a grate on top, so it pulls air in, and it pulls air out the smoke hole, and then in all of these kivas, they have them rebuilt. They have a flat stone, maybe a couple inches thick, and maybe this tall, like a big tablet, sticking up out of the floor, built in, right in front of where the air comes down and comes in. And it's between there and the fire pit. And they figured out if they didn't have that there, the air would come down and shoot and hit the fire pit, and it would just kind of send the air all over and the smoke and everything. But
so that's a diverter.
Yeah, it diverts the air around, and that makes it just a perfect flow to bring the air in this.
I just love that.
You being serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is just gorgeous. I want to go walk on that.
Yeah.
And I've never seen that kind of beautiful tended. And he must have put a lot of work into it. I don't know how, because it was all just rough like that.
Yeah.
I wonder, did he seed it or did?
Yeah, he seeded it, and he just before you get to the end, there's that
David?
trail that goes past the sauna. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that
Yeah.
trail continues on.
Yeah.
He mows that all the way back.
He does.
Yeah. And of course he mowed road less traveled, maybe just a quarter of the way around. And yeah, he says he loves. Once he gets on his mower, he has a hard time getting off. Wow. That's been the longest one yet. What if it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing till hit?
I was videoing that. Well, you got to get it feathered out almost like a
Yeah, the finer the better. I mean, really, to get it into flame, you need something that's that small in the center.
I have a lighter.
This will be a great way to initiate the fire pit.
Oh.
Birch bark, man. Having birch bark here is like making a fire. It's like a dream. And then I just learned from Maureen and Dave over there that these Amadeus, they're called. I guarantee you that's what the Native Americans used, was birch bark Amadou. With those, you can make a fire pretty easily. I mean, if you have a way to start a coal. Which I've been learning how to do the hand spindle, the two sticks. And I haven't done it on my own. I've done it with a group because it takes a lot. It's hard on your hands, and by yourself, it's hard to. You need to hold the board in place still, and the only way to do that on your own is with your feet. And so then you have to kind of be sitting like this, rather than if you were above it, you have leverage on it. But here, you don't have your body weight, so you have to be strong enough to push down, and that is very challenging.
Excuse me, don't you need more wood?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. See, this is my kind of way to build a fire, like we tried to do the morning after big rain out camping on the river.
Oh, yeah.
Where I finally resorted to splashes of gas.
Yeah.
Because this is what I was trying to do, was just build it tiny from whatever, and all the wood was so wet, it just...
Yeah, that's so frustrating. Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez, when they break like that.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited to cut some firewood.
Yep, me too.
I'd like to do that. And then I guess, the best thing in general is to split it right away, but especially for that stuff for Chuck. I don't think we need to have it. It sounded like he was wanting it even for this winter yet. Which I can't imagine, even if we split it now, unless it's dead and fairly dry, it's not going to be ready for this winter anyway. That one did not want to break. The ground here is so wet too, I can tell it doesn't want to go. Woo! That's refreshing. Feels good. Come on. I'm surprised because it had been dead for a few years there. But
Oak takes the longest.
yeah. Well, also I do think that splitting it open, even sectioning it up, but especially splitting it open, just speeds it up so much. And I don't know if they were somewhat connected still, like they had blown over, but I had to cut them off. You know, they still had some shards holding, and maybe they were still wicking moisture all the way up from the ground.
That's very possible.
He had gone to the hospital, and it was well, don't tell me. Aneurysm isn't the word I'm looking for. Is it? No, it was. Brain? Not brain. Heart?
Yeah,
Which is what? A bleeding?
yeah. His aortic aneurysm had dissected, which means it had split and begun to bleed, I guess. Because he got home from work that day, made coffee, sat down, and he began to feel a warm feeling in his chest. And then it went down and began to go around. And he said, "Oh, this is it." Called 911. Got them there. They brought him to St. Mary's. They air flighted him to Marshfield. They turned around, air flighted him to UW-Madison.
He had an aneurysm already?
Yes, he had an aneurysm that they were watching. An aneurysm just means a bulge in the artery. And they were watching it. Every 6 months they'd take a CAT scan to see if it had grown. Well, they escort them out because they don't want them sabotaging the system and taking secrets and files with them that they could use against them or whatever it is.
They take them to their office. They say, you have half an hour to pack up your stuff, you know, and then they watch them while they do it, and they take them out. So she was an IT. What was her job title?
I don't know. I don't know what she even did, to tell you the truth.
I mean, that's the kind of the last I know. So things are kind of still on the same point, except you lost an hour.
I lost an hour for summer and fall. I was tutoring 16 hours a week. Now it'll be 15 hours a week. Okay. But I'll be able to teach my fall photography course, which I love doing. And you know,
That
we gotta
also,
get. Huh?
that also would have been taken away from you.
Yes, if I had taken the regular part-time position. I'm gonna get this spray.
Okay. Look at that fire.
Yeah.
Woo.
Did you see the can of repel in one of the paper bags?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I put it there on the counter,
Okay.
by the door. So you're teaching it right now.
Yeah. It's my summer night skies, time lapse, and high dynamic range.
Oh.
And we're having a ball.
Night skies. What was the second thing?
Time lapse and high dynamic range.
Go get him.
Blessings on the day. Hi, Sophie. Hi, Sophie. Hey, Dad.
Hi, Kirby.
Why don't you jump in here and crawl around on top of me?
Okay.
You're too old.
Too
Breaking
old.
me. Get your dirty wet shoes out of here, fucker.
What'd you call me?
Called you a fucker. Get out of here.
I would walk in dog shit too. I had coffee. Oh man, is it good? Really good.
Oh, that sounds good.
It is. Oh, you're living on the edge all the time. Oh yeah.
I'm not used to wearing a hat, but when I got this from Hungry Jack. I had my sun hat, but it blew off in the wind. So before I left, I bought one of their hats, which was like $20.
Oh geez.
But it was nice to have on a trip for sun and flies and whatnot. Now I've been wearing it here, but I'm still not used to it.
Well, you look good in it. You look really lumberjackish.
Yesterday when you first saw me, what did you say? I looked like a hillbilly. Now you're saying I look good.
I'm changing my tune.
Mosquitoes in here.
Oh well.
Yeah, and the other thing I like back there is, well, it's just further from the road and it's kind of low. So,
Yeah.
I mean, even from behind the cabin, it's real open here. Some people drive by, you can kind of look back and see. But even back there, it's sort of out of the way. I hope Mark doesn't take offense that we rolling, keep those pancakes rolling.
Well, the broth. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. She's hot and ready. Just letting me practice on what will soon be my truck.
Right.
Today's weather is actually really pleasant too.
Yes, it is.
It has that feeling where it might just kind of start spring.
being in York in mid-April. And it was a beautiful day down there. It was probably 75, 80. It was sunny. It was just one of those really pleasant spring evenings. It was about 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7. And I was biking out using that old orange Diamondback bike that Kinsey first got, probably back at Eagle Street. Chelsea has. I was taking that for a ride down the cobblestone streets in York and just leisurely. I had nowhere to be, and I just started realizing as I went that there's nobody out. There wasn't a soul. There wasn't hardly even a car driving on the streets. It felt like the apocalypse. And I thought, for a moment, well, maybe it's, dinner time, everybody's inside. But even then I thought, some of these people are bound to be done with dinner. Or nobody was out in their yard. No kids biking around. It made me really sad. And then, a couple of the houses I went by, I happened to look in the window and there's a TV on. And, it depresses me.
Oh, we need two bags of ice then.
Huh?
We need 2 bags. Well,
You want to go turn off the video?
Turn it off?
Yeah.
Press-
In the back there's a wheel. The button in the center turns video on and off.
Okay.
no, keep going. Now off.
See? That stuff out there, this spring was okay to split, but not like this.
That's how oak splits in the winter.
Little shards.
No. Just one little tip.
She doesn't give a shit.
No, wait a minute. Come here. Come here. Yay, Suki!
Well, come on, let's jump off together. I'm not doing this shit without you.
Go. Woo! Hello, great! God, this water's cold. Where's the bunk? Get the bunk. Oh, jeez, it's cold. What the hell are you doing? Oh. Jeez. Oh. Put the cap up there. What am I supposed to do? Just put this like this. Let's see, fun. Too many faces. Get the ball. It's not over there. Oh, yeah. Holy shit.
How's everything? Looks like you got a lot of work done today.
Yeah.
I took down a tree,
Yeah, I heard you cutting here.
couple of trees last winter, and I have what they call a brush shear. That's from all the branches. And I'm sitting here all spring and all summer so far. I'm saving it for an outdoor fire like this. But all the profits from it go to
That's a good deal.
Is that hat you have say Port Townsend?
Yes. Yes.
Have you been out there?
Yep.
That's a
I
cool
bought
little,
this at the brewery.
that's a cool little town.
Blowing the door open in the kitchen area, and it would blow right over the top of the sudsy water and make a huge amount of bubbles. And then all these bubbles come flying out. That was the funniest
Different
thing.
kind of suds.
And then somebody go over and slam the door. And 5 minutes later, the thing would blow open again. And
Looking out on that, it's just like, wow, you did a great job. Wow. How did you do it? Did you pull it up and
Yeah, he tilled it up, picked rocks.
How come you went out there? Did you know people?
He rented a machine to pick the rocks.
you needed a machine or you had a machine?
He had to rent one,
Oh man.
but it definitely paid off. I mean, we ended up picking some of the rocks, but if we had to pick all that was there,
That big with those teeth on them.
No, I've never seen one.
And regular rocks and one row. No.
Drive it or push it or what?
You can put it on the back of your tractor.
Well, yeah, they
Well, I think around here you got a load of rocks.
yeah, it's a great little school. Not the school of the
Those rocks are everywhere.
right down there at the end of Main Street.
Wow.
so you gonna go get David? So he doesn't have to carry his jalapeno poppers.
Where's David?
Ooh.
He's coming.
Hi, Maureen.
We'll be right back.
How you doing?
We'll be right back.
Good.
Okay. I'll see you then.
Don't take healthy stuff.
Yeah. Hey, the other David's here. Mark. Works out real good. Who was the white truck earlier today? I've never seen that truck before.
That was Dennis and Stephanie Hansen.
Set that next to the other
They
ones.
have a place from Sandstone to here. They have a place. They have a big. So it doesn't have any of the,
Seeds.
yeah, none of the seeds and the membranes for me. It's like I love all the seeds and the spice.
They could be hotter.
It's
Hotter. Yeah.
But then I fill that in with the cream cheese and wrap it in bacon. Put toothpicks on it so the bacon stays on there. And, oh, it's just a delight. Trying to find the right shot.
Oh no.
One of my assignments in college was depth of field, foreground, middle ground, background.
Mm-hmm.
And I had foreground was my knee. Middle ground was a 30-foot tall old Christmas tree fire. Captured perfect. 30-foot tall flame at least.
Feel better now?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's in the truck.
You think you can get that Ford?
The 9N.
Is it recording or
Still very much.
table?
I mean, the tires are bad?
Then I
Another
drink.
You just
that-
put
that
'em in
was
the
hot, so I
ground,
drink this,
stand
but
'em
you know,
up.
actually, this didn't.
And it made a flame
Didn't
like this
quell
high
the
from the
fire.
ground from sparklers, like a
almost. It
flamethrower.
seemed like maybe this.
This is all in the city, by the way.
Making my
Minneapolis,
nose red.
north side. You make all those?
How many sparklers do
So
you
you
use?
guys got to
I
know.
typically do 1 pack.
So you just duct tape everything.
tape the
whole
sparklers
thing. You
together.
just duct tape all
It's a
around.
crap
So it keeps it
Yes.
compressed
Taped
together.
like crazy. But I found out the best is clear tape.
I see some clear tape on there.
Yes, that's a combination of clear tape and duct tape. I always used duct tape before. That was the first way I
So it's
learned
like
how to
super
do
loud.
it.
It is loud.
And then Mark said, let's try clear tape because we got that laying around because
I always.
I burnt up all the other tape.
Yeah.
So he's like, there's clear. That's really fat compared to the other ones I've lit. Now that's probably one of the fattest ones I've lit.
So you just cut the sticks off the sprinkler or the sparkler.
I know you like them. Eat it.
Okay.
No, I want it.
Too
bad he snoozed.
Sparklers wrapped in duct tape for the fuse.
Really? Okay. Just sparklers?
Sparklers.
And what does
About
it-
$1 worth of sparklers.
So what does it do?
I'm on the ladder.
Oh, you'll find out.
No, we're not doing it right now.
Want this?
Not doing it.
No,
sitting
no,
there
honestly,
either.
you go ahead, thanks.
We're not gonna do it
They're
right
just
now.
prepping.
Jesus.
Fire in the hole!
It's gonna be loud. You're gonna shake. Unless it's messed up.
Ah, it's a fizzler.
Yeah. Let me help push. Wait a minute. They're screaming, and I go, did they make me? I don't remember
I'd hope
doing that. But
I just would like you to not maybe get my image on the
because I don't even think I
camera,
would have even
please,
done it.
Okay.
because it is
I would have screamed,
highly illegal to do this.
but and then these other ones are these bamboo ones. Oh.
Yep, can go put itself all bad fuse.
So did you get second tape all done?
I love being able to lay in bed in the morning, just even for 15 minutes, half an hour, not have to get up right away, and remember any dreams I just had, or think about yesterday, or think about what I have to do today. It makes a huge difference in my psyche if I get up. I still sort of dread the early morning preschool, before school hours. Getting up as late as I could because I was so fucking tired from being up so late with homework, and then having to just blaze out of there, rushing around, getting everything together, getting to school just in time, and then having to sit down at a desk and then be involved, like the whole day. I just dread that feeling. So I love it when I have that time to just think about what's going on. Cause problems with the oven or the heating element, or cause the pilot light to go out.
Yeah, but if it's Chelsea's oven, that's
Exactly. I've done it to Chelsea's oven and Mom's oven, and they both freaked out on me. But what he found is that if you do it in a preheated Dutch oven, that just captures the steam from the bread. You know, the moisture in the bread that's escaping. Made and best tasting bread I've ever made by far.
really.
Yeah.
And you can, well, obviously you taste the yeast, you taste the ferment.
Yeah. Yep. Because he thinks that has a kind of a reputation. Wouldn't that be a deal?
Yeah.
That has a reputation, and people, don't like.
Yeah,
See
I
how-
see the grain.
Look at the end. See how far apart those rings are compared
Yeah.
to the oak yesterday?
No, they look about the same.
Those oak rings were just almost right together. Boom, 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 boom.
A little more like this, or that, or that.
Yeah, like that, like the top of that one.
Oh,
Or even smaller. Versus that one. They're so wide there.
yeah.
I think that makes it harder.
Not enough.
You said yesterday, you didn't say almost empty, you said empty.
You said you had enough for 2 more meals. There's not 2 more meals in here.
It only takes this much mix to make a meal.
You won't even fill that up.
I bet.
Yeah, see, you spill half of it.
Oh boy. Gotta eat my words here. Or just my pancakes. Although it made a little bit too much yesterday, so it'll be perfect.
You're always such an optimist. Come on, I want some pessimism. Some discouragement and end of the world. Yeah, get every last drop.
And yeah, just enough water. Don't have to go back there. Where the nozzle goes back on, it doesn't screw on, it pops on.
Oh.
And when they're full of water and you try to push on it, there's no resistance. You need something, and so then it pushes in and the water all splashes out, and then, so they're not even very functional, so maybe we should just, storing it, if I got it now, I'd have it for a couple weeks and then I'd store it on RINs indefinitely. Yeah, those Johnsonville brats, man.
We got just the right flavor. back.
Is this the spot that you remember from back then?
Yeah.
And if we left it a couple more, it'd just be gone.
Yeah, yeah.
All that energy gone into there.
Well, it would have gone into the nutrients of the earth.
That's true. Growing these trees. Yeah, you can kind of feel how flimsy this wheelbarrow is.
Oh, yeah?
Just right there on the right, down at the bottom of this basin. I don't know why someone would have done that, except it was the stump. They piled it around the stump. And it's just all brown and weathered, and I picked a couple pieces up and they just broke.
Oh, they're no good.
Birch, yeah, they're gone. It must be even older than this stuff. Or
Go get him.
that block stack is sure in my way. Shovel, shovel, shovel. It was right here.
It's inside the door. Just rape this fire pit of its fire bricks. So we need 2 more. We'll be here.
Well, here we got water.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
And you just wasted it. That's that much less water we would have had to take out of the river.
No, it's that much more water I would have had to carry to the river.
And that I would be toting to the river using my gas. Now it's going to take less gas. It's the mirror flipping up. Okay.
Whoa, everywhere. How about 2 half full?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
That works.
yeah.
This was off. Feels like a funeral. This section. Our beloved ashes, we gather here today. Celebrate your life. Sitting in that wheelbarrow, hanging on to life until now. We appreciate you and we'll remember you forever.
Hey Maria, today. I'm not hearing a lot of sizzling going on.
Were they even?
They were very warm when I spread them out and put my hand down there. It was uncomfortably.
Here it is. Seems like every year the lily pad patch gets bigger, doesn't it? What? Go back. Biodegradable, don't have to worry about it.